What's up everyone? Proper garage here. My e39 and 5 is the main car is going to be in the channel, and if you're not welcome with the channel, please subscribe, follow, whatever. If you like the content, there's going to be a lot of proper content. Proper garage is where we do things the proper way. Well, try to at least. E39 and 5 is my car, my second car. Had my first one, was perfect, sold it, regretted, bought a new one. And as we all know, these cars are classic, they always break, something always goes wrong, especially if you have a heavy foot. Now, this episode, we're going to be changing completely whole drivetrain. Well, what I mean by that is drive shaft specific. So what we're going to be doing is Guibo, CSB, transmission mounts, shifter bushings, because those things are completely dead. And I'll put the clip in how it looked before. Now, I've done a lot of work on the car so far. We have the interior almost 100% done. Our next step is to take out everything, take everything apart and dye everything. Dyeing means painting everything for the most part, if you want to do it professional. But in this episode, we're doing the drivetrain components. So tune in, let's bust balls. Well, that took about 20 minutes. So, car's fully lifted, 100% where it needs to be. Plenty of space. Buddy of mine told me that the car needs to be in the air as much as possible. We got at least 2.5 feet in the rear, about 1.5 feet front, so that should be right where we need to be. Alright, now let's start working on it for real. Never done the procedure myself. Looks like we're gonna have to drop the exhaust and then keep going from there. Alright, so we're looking at the Guibo itself, and as we can see, it's in extremely horrible condition. I mean, it's not even cracked, it is ripped to pieces. This side's gone, middle one, second one's gone, the third one's still up in the air. So it's the end of the story, basically. Now, like I said before, this car, oh, look at that. Something's loose up in there. It has polyurethane bushings. I want to get rid of them because it gives me a little bit of a vibration sometimes. We're going to change tranny fluid. We don't have cats anymore. And Guibo. And we're going to be doing the CSB, which is located somewhere here underneath the shields. We're out of luck here. Try to lower the exhaust on these hangers. Everything loose up there, brackets loose up here, and it is not going down. Same here is also loose. It's just holding on this pretty much headers connectors. So yeah, we're gonna take off this whole exhaust and keep going. we got the exhaust removed, and we got 2 studs in there we have to take care of later. And other than that, it took a minute. You can absolutely see this thing's ripped apart big time. I mean, ripped really bad. Now, the CV joint, not sure about that. The boot's leaking, and the differential bushing is definitely done. I've got a solid one, like I said before. We'll be back tomorrow. Alright, it is day 2. We got to the drive shaft, and honestly, I'm not a drive shaft expert, so I don't know. But it looks to me that there isn't much play in here that I've heard of. You need to inspect. Pressing on it, and it's just loose a little bit. Lots of some kind of plastics and everything up in here, as you can see, but we're gonna take it off right now. Check this out. There's a little bit of play. I don't know, maybe it's been rebuilt, whatever. Looks to me like all of these nuts right here been turned before, 100%. I don't know. Well, it's got a new engine in the car, so they definitely take the drive shaft out. Well, let's get this two taken off, see what happens. Before we're gonna be doing any kind of disassembling, we need to put a mark the way this drive shaft's sitting down. Let's say I have label up here. I know it's gonna be sitting like that, but I'm just gonna mark throughout the whole thing like that. Give it a mark, and so I can remember. A couple of marks up here. I know it's kind of pointless, but I've got one down there inside on the transmission itself, and then a bracket. One up there, a few up here, and a few down here. Now I know you're all gonna say you just need to mark it right there, but guess what? Drive shaft itself also balanced. Check out these weights right here. There's a few more somewhere. So yeah, it's very important. So the drive shaft is out. We got a little happy surprise for you all. The center support bearing itself has been done not too long ago, and it does not have many play whatsoever. It's really tight, it's really firm. This rubber right here is not even cracked. I mean, it's been done like a few years ago before I bought the car. So we're gonna keep it as is and not mess around with it, because I'm still gonna take everything apart in a year or so to change the transmission. Alright, now we took out the Guibo, as you could see. It's no longer there, it is here. And what a bad scenery, isn't it? It's, I would say, would be kind of dangerous to drive, because it would rip any time. I mean, it's a complete piece of trash. Now, we got the perfect OEM specified Phoebe Bilstein, and when they sent it to me, I thought it's supposed to be OEM BMW, but what they said is this is BMW supplier. So we got that. Now, another thing is, you just have to do this. Yes, they're not 100% absolute, but they're exact style and exact length, and they're from hardware store. brand new bolts and nuts, I would absolutely do. Because mine over there are not the best, but they still okay. But $17, it's well worth it. Okay, we got all of these shifter bushings we're about to do. Like I said, CSB is good, and shifter bushings, putting them back to Guibo, putting drive shafts back, and hanging on the exhaust. Except I have to take out one of those bolts, which they pop out if you beat it with the hammer good enough. There's one more thing I want to tell you about these bushings. Now, here what they are. Company is called Grastic, and they are poly ADA, right? That's what it says. And I bought these a while ago when we were doing the engine swap, exactly 2 years ago. And we all know they sit like this. They're supposed to take away some vibrations. Now these things, solid plastic. Check out this scenery right there. Piece of transmission mount is gone. Luckily I'm changing the transmission sometime in 6 months to a year, whenever. But don't buy them. I don't even know what this is came off of. Some mess, nasty mess. Anyway, don't buy these mounts unless you want this result. And by the way, it was vibrating. I'm pretty sure it was vibrating from these. So we're taking off with the shifter bushings, and let's keep going. All right, day 4 or 5, I don't even know what day it is. Oh, main bushing in right there. It was really a problem. Take that one out. Nothing here. So we're at the stage of installing bushings, gear selector, or you can call it also a shift knob. We're installing everything nice and packed, new, lubed up and everything. And doing that, doing the Guibo drive shaft. And I don't know how much we're gonna be jacking around with that exhaust bolt right there. This one came out. I mean, you can see it, it's loose. See that? But that one I just have to probably warm up and bang on it with the hammer, should pop out. And I've got some bolts up in here, right? 8 of them. So let's get to busting balls and get this done. day number 45. We're doing the inner link right here. Like I said before, outer tie rods and control arms and sway bar link were done back in January. And now we're doing the inner link. And I don't want to take out the outer tie rods. As you can see, they're all up in there. Right here. I don't want to beat on them. So I'm basically hand screwing this whole rod in there. And it takes like 10 minutes aside. What really took a long time, we're talking like an hour yesterday. Changing out this bushing. Sits up in there like that. So that's all new. Really, don't change this bushing. It's normal. I don't know why I wanted to do it. So let's do the link. And I found out why for the past 2 years my sport steering wasn't on. My previous BMW was on. Now this one, the freaking wires are ripped for the sensor up there for the steering box. And of course, oil is leaking everywhere from this holes for the flange up there. So I'm just thinking to chopping it off right there and probably chopping it off here, put a braided line on it. We'll see how that's gonna go. I guess let's keep working on it.